7 years in the United States Navy, first in Norfolk, Virginia, and then in Naples, Italy, where I met my wife. And for the last 12 years, I've taught Italian and French at Georgia State University. The theme of the League of Women Voters this year is making democracy work, which is, I believe, very appropriate to what we've seen in the government in the past few years, in the past 20 years. Making democracy work, which refers not only, in my opinion, to the functioning of our democracy, but of democracy as being work, of working with people and cooperating together. So not just the lack of functioning that we've seen in the government, but the need to work at democracy. We have not been working at our democracy, cooperating with one another as parties across lines, building relationships within the community so that we're well represented. I mentioned two specific issues because we were asked to address two issues, if we can, in a 3-minute time period. The first is the Affordable Care Act / American Health Care Act. The American Health Care Act, which does not, I guess is moribund for the moment, but which was passed, or was attempted to pass, was passed through committee without passing through the budget committee, without any debate, without cooperation across party lines. To me, that's an example of where democracy needs to be worked at. We need to work at democracy. Second issue we can see in not just a metaphorical or administrative type of way. Here in the 6th District, we have we're poised, as some of us like to say, to be the next Silicon Valley, and yet we're challenged by the fact that across the district, this northern perimeter, there's a lack of communication between the communities, a lack of proper infrastructure that allows them to communicate and transport goods. As Congressman, I would form a task force, a team that brings people together, that brings Republicans and Democrats, that brings community leaders and public officials, that brings the great universities we have that surround this district to study how to make this the jobs center of the United States, producing the jobs of 2020, producing the jobs of 2050. That, for me, in Congress, cooperation is a theme that I've been hearing among some of the candidates. I believe wholeheartedly. I am a military officer. I am a Democrat. I believe in working across lines to find common solutions. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting us this evening. My name is John Ossoff, one of these 18 candidates running in this crowded special election field to replace Secretary Price now that he's been confirmed and joined the cabinet. I was born and raised in Metro Atlanta, grew up in the 6th Congressional District in North DeKalb County, right by North Lake Mall. I went to Georgetown University's School of Foreign Service, where I studied international relations, worked on Capitol Hill for 5 years, specializing in defense and national security policy. Learned how you can get things done in Congress, and also saw all the reasons things don't get done in Congress. I saw the partisanship, and the gridlock, and the pettiness, and the corruption. And I decided to leave. I got a master's degree from the London School of Economics, and now I run a small business that produces documentary films for international television broadcasters. We specialize in investigations of organized crime and political corruption, as well as some frontline conflict reporting. We sent a crew a few months ago to the front line in northern Iraq, where they embedded with an all-female infantry unit, some of whom had themselves been captive of ISIS, were now taking up arms in revenge. We've helped to expose political corruption on multiple continents, and this work, growing a business and doing something I believe in, has been the most impactful and rewarding of my life so far, and I had no plans to get back into politics anytime soon, until November. But I think that in November we learned that there is a crisis of faith in American politics. And what is happening in Washington as a result, I think, is quite divisive and quite dangerous. And so I felt called to get involved again in a more direct way. When I learned that my hometown congressman would be vacating his seat, I decided to run. I'm focused on our local economic development as the first priority of my campaign. We've got young people who are getting superb educations in the 6th District at colleges and universities across the state. Too often are leaving for Palo Alto or Boston, where the tech sector is booming. We can retain that talent here by investing in high-tech, biotech, and medical research, by cutting wasteful government spending, by expanding access to export markets. And I'm focused on accountability in Washington, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, not as a partisan issue, but as a matter of public interest. I'd like to apply my background as a congressional aide and my skills as an investigative journalist to clean up government and hold folks accountable in Washington. Thank you all for participating and being engaged in the process. It's an honor to be here.
Hello, my name is Ron Slotin, and I want to tell you about my background and why I'm running for Congress. I was born and raised in Atlanta. I went to Atlanta Public Schools, went to the University of Georgia, came out and worked at Atlanta Market Center. Then I ran for the state senate and won in my first run for public office. I was in the state senate when we actually got things done. I was in the education committee when we passed the Hope Scholarship. Can I see a sign of hands of how many families have been helped by the Hope Scholarship? It's the best program that's ever been passed in this state. We also cut state taxes, we grew the economy, we put money away for the rainy day fund, and we gave teachers the pay raise they deserve. And the other important thing about when I was in the state senate, a lot of people talk about working in a bipartisan fashion. I have a record of working across the aisle with Republicans, with legislators from all across the state, and getting things done for the people of Georgia. And that's really important because as I travel around the district, the number one issue people talk about is there's too much fighting and gridlock in Washington and nothing's getting done. We have serious issues in our district that need help. I know it because I'm very invested in our district. I live, work, raise my family, and owned a business and volunteer in the district for over 15 years. My kids go to school at Lassiter High School. I'm a member of the PTA. I'm a volunteer coach at East Marietta Basketball League, so I'm very invested in the community. And it's so important. We don't need people, we have some people saying drain the swamp. Some people say, let's make Trump mad. But how about let's help the people that live in this district? I'm very community oriented. That's my focus. One of the things people talk about is bringing jobs to this district. I have a background in proven results in bringing jobs and creating jobs. I had an advertising agency in Sandy Springs for 12 years. I helped start the Sandy Springs Chamber of Commerce. When I had my advertising agency, I was part of the 4-person business team that created the 2009 entertainment tax credits. Has anybody seen the TVs and movie productions being filmed around the state? That's because of the tax credits that we created. In 2016, it was over $1 billion worth of economic development. So I have a proven record of creating jobs in the state, of improving education, and the other issue, if we're going to bring top companies into the district, we have to fix the traffic problem in Atlanta. So locally, it's bringing jobs, the traffic situation, and improving our schools. On the national level, I will defend a woman's right to control and decide on her own health care. I will work to protect Social Security and Medicare. I will work to make sure we have health insurance that covers pre-existing conditions. I will make sure that veterans get the health and mental benefits that they deserve to help them. We also have to work all together to make sure we fight discrimination against any minority groups. I'm totally committed to helping the community. I have a record of getting results. And on election day, I hope everybody will vote. Voting for Slotin. Thank you.
Good evening. Oh, wow. Good evening. This is CNN.